So the Tack Zone got yet another nerf, but this time it's not a direct nerf to the tower or any of its pads, but it's a nerf to Geraldo and his Sharpening Stone that actually affects the Tack Zone by itself. So just to get everyone up to speed, the Tack Zone is a tower that has been consistently getting nerfed in the past few updates. They reduced its range, they reduced the damage it does, they reduced the pierce, and wait a minute, are we fine on this one? I think we are, but we're gonna have yellows in the next one. And as long as we deal with this, and see, this is my dilemma. I'm kind of trying to save money for Geraldo, but at the same time, I'm not sure if I should be getting the Tack Sprayer. So I think we're going for Geraldo first, and I'm going to have Geraldo here on the right side. And as I was saying, with all of these nerfs, Geraldo's Sharpening Stone actually became a really important part in buffing this tower and a part of these strategies. Okay, so let me get the Tack Sprayer now. Let me tell you guys how the Sharpening Stone used to work like. So it used to give +1 pierce, and then at Geraldo level 15, that one got upgraded to, actually, it just got an additional buff, which was +1 damage. So it was +1 pierce and +1 damage. That's the old one. But the new one doesn't have the damage component, and it is just by the way, is this gonna be fine versus these? Oh, we don't have. I was gonna place the glue, but I'm not sure if this is gonna be fine versus the pink balloons. I hope it is. I think it is actually. The spot is really nice. So as long as the pierce holds, which I think it will, yeah, there we go, we're fine. And the new one actually just gives a flat +2 pierce, which is actually really important because as you guys can see, all of these tags coming out, when you give this tower +1 damage, every single one of those tags gets buffed. And when the Tack Zone, you know, just throws out tags from all the sides, you can kind of see how much damage it's missing. It's only +1 damage, but the tower itself does 1 damage, so it's essentially, you know, it was essentially double damage you were getting this tower. So the question is the Tack Zone still good, and what is the correct crosspath now with the new Sharpening Stone? So today I'm gonna go for the top crosspath. We leaked a little bit, but I played Geraldo like this, so he is going to pick up. He's not going to take too many of these pops. I also wanted to kind of, I don't know, if we can get the 2 mega pops thingy, then I guess it's going to be fine, but we're not exactly aiming for it. Just trying to see what's the better crosspath for this thing, and I think that the top cross makes a little bit more sense with the new Geraldo Sharpening Stone, because the top path gives attack speed, but it's missing pierce. So I feel like this is probably the way to go, right? Okay, so this is the most important round, and if we can get to 3,400, actually that probably might not be a good idea because there's nothing to deal with the lead balloons. So even though we have the money, I think I shouldn't be buying the overdrive, but let's see if this is going to defend. I think it will. Oh yeah, it's defending it, no problem. Okay, so but I should actually get the Alchemist now, so I'm going to have the Alchemist like this. And yeah, if I had bought the overdrive, we would not have had the money for this thing. But let me get the AMD just so this thing can buff, so they can pop the lead balloons. And yeah, we're off. And this Sharpening Stone nerf is actually so significant that you might say it's just +1 damage, but that +1 damage now affects strategies like, for example, the 032 Robo Monkey spam, and also the Elite Sniper one, actually, which was a really interesting strategy that I used to do a lot. And these guys are they're just not working the same way. That it's just not how it used to be. And this thing does not have the Sharpening Stone now, and the Moab is about to come out, so I'm actually not going to give it the Sharpening Stone, and I want to see if it's going to be able to deal with the Moab. And then if we leak, oh, it's not going to leak. Oh, it actually does leak, and it leaks quite a lot. Okay, so as soon as these guys leak, we're going to restart, and then I'm going to give it the Sharpening Stone and see how much of a difference it makes now. So let's go like this. That was a huge leak, by the way, so even if it leaks like this, we're going to know. Oh my god, what? Okay, so I'm sorry, but this is just the perfect illustration how much this tower requires pierce. It's attacking super fast. It's doing, well, at least for these early ons, it's doing the damage, but it's just starved for pierce. It just needs extra pierce, and this is why I wanted to go for the top app, because what Ninja Kiwi was trying to achieve with these kind of rebalancing and also the nerfs of the top path and just the Tack Zone in general, was they wanted to make the millipede a lot more attractive for people. Let me just buy the strongest stimulant, by the way. And while they did succeed in making the millipede, the 025 Tack Zone, a lot more attractive, it was at the expense of the top hat. So now maybe with this Sharpening Stone thingy, maybe the top hat is again going in favor. I don't know. I mean, I kind of have a feeling that this thing it's not going to be as good as it used to be, but it should be, you know, nice. We're going to see how it goes. And as you would expect, you know, these 40s are absolutely not a problem for this tower. I also bought a 320 Village. I got a 420 Alchemist, and I think we have, yeah, you can't exactly see it because the money's there, but we have one more round left on the Sharpening Stone, and 49 has a bunch of Bloons incoming. It's a bunch of green balloons and ceramics underneath, and this is just gonna deal with it no problem. And if we didn't have the Sharpening Stone, I'm not sure if it was gonna leak because it's a 420 Alchemist and we're giving it +1 pierce from the primary training. It would have been closer, I guess, but yeah, we just deal with these rounds no problem. And I am going to be saving up for the Tack Zone next. I also kind of wanted to play on this map. for one specific reason. Well, we can kind of have this. This is a very nice spot for a Tack Zone, by the way, but it's a spot in which after the balloons kind of leak and exit the area of the Tack Zone, they don't come back. So we could have played on some map like Balance, which is objectively a lot more better than this one, but I felt like this would be the perfect map in which we kind of want to test it. So if it does with the balloons, while the balloons are inside of its range, good. If it doesn't, then we know for a fact that it's leaky and it doesn't get a second chance, basically, is what I'm saying. Okay, so the BFBs are arriving, and this is just an overdrive. I'm gonna get the Tack Zone. It's time. It gets a little bit of extra range, which is really nice. It gets a lot. It shoots a lot of tacks. And it's just a stronger tower. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm also going to give it the Sharpening Stone. This is the old one, by the way, so we still haven't seen any of these, of these changes of the Sharpening Stone. We're going to have to wait for Geraldo level 15 for that. I'm really curious about what's going to happen around 63. This thing, the base tower, did get a lot of extra attack speed, so now the top hat does attack a lot faster. And with the extra pierce, I mean, it should be kind of a nice tower. So let's see how it does versus 63. Although I'm really concerned about the lead balloons, because the only way that this thing deals with the lead is with the AMD buff. So unless it pops the lead balloons, a lot of these stacks are going to go underused, and it seems to be dealing with 63 actually perfectly, honestly. Let's just watch the second wave, this second ceramic wave. So as long as there are no lead balloons around it, the tags can freely, they can freely pierce through the ceramic balloons, which is really nice. But if something like that happens, then we're going to lose a lot of DPS. So we're going to have to think about how we deal with the DDTs actually later on. But yeah, this tower is absolutely dealing with everything, it seems like. And I don't think that these balloons, like the mobs and not even the 45 mobs, are going to be an issue. I mean, it's just a lot of attack speed. And Geraldo is, well, he's not about to hit level 15, but it's going to be kind of close in the next few rounds. But this is 75, and 75 is going to require a lot of PS because there are a lot of BFBs stacked beneath each other. And I haven't given this guy the Sharpening Stone on purpose, just so we can see that this is actually a little bit problematic. Do I want to league these guys? I'm actually going to league them, and we're going to start over with the Sharpening Stone. Okay, so I'm going to give the Sharpening Stone now, and let's see how much of a difference +1 pierce makes for this tower. This is the attack speed one, the 205, so it obviously attacks a lot faster and it requires a lot of pierce. And look at that thing, guys, this is insane. I have a feeling that the extra +1 pierce that it gets is actually going to be really nice onto the top hat, right? I mean, did you guys see how much of a difference it makes, not only on 75 but also on round 40 with the Moab, if you remember the overdrive? This tower requires a lot of pierce, and I feel like this is Geraldo's new Sharpening Stone might actually be the cure. I do know what's going to be happening in the next few rounds. We have a lot of money and free play is about to roll out, so we do need to do a couple of things. So first off, I'm going to get the primary mentoring for this tower. If I buy the primary expertise, this thing is going to give it actually some additional pierce. I think it's +2 pierce, but it's going to take away a lot of the pops, and we're not going to be able to see how good this tower is. You know what I'm realizing now is that the Pickles are a little bit better for the Tack Zone now, right? Because the way these Pickles work is that they give you extra damage, but they take away attack speed. And if we were to give the old Sharpening Stone, that would have taken the total damage that this thing does to 2. Now with the Alchemist to 3, so that means that the Pickles don't do anything. If you give the Pickles to a Tack Zone that's getting buffed by the Sharpening Stone and an Alchemist. But now that it only has 2 damage, the Pickles are actually a net positive. Wait a minute, is this an overall buff now that I think about this? So now we can get +2 pierce, and we're gonna get the extra damage from the Pickles because the Pickles didn't do anything. So wait a minute, look at it go with the Pickles now. Oh my god, this is just a 420 Alchemist, a 420 Village, and a Sharpening Stone and Pickles. That's about it. That's all we have with this tower. Okay, 40 MGs. It's got the pierce. The Sharpening Stone and the Pickles are going to expire in the next round. So this is pretty much the last round, which it's going to do this insane damage unless we buff it again. And it is dealing with 4 MGs thanks to the extra pierce plus the extra damage. Yeah, this tower is... Okay, so let's see how good it is without any of these buffs, by the way. Is it going to leak? It's just a 205 with the 420 Alchemist and a 420 Village. That's about it. And it is actually leaking. Okay then, so let's renew these buffs. Let's actually, you know what? Let me just give it the Sharpening Stone and not give it the Pickle, and let's see if it's gonna leak. How much of a difference does +2 pierce make? It makes all the difference in the world, doesn't it? Oh yes, look at that. +2 pierce, baby. Come on. This tower requires so much pierce. I'm gonna give it the Pickles again. Okay, so here's what's happening. DDTs on the next round. We have a lot of money. I haven't spent any of these guys on purpose. And here's what I want to do. I think... Oh, I'm a little bit late maybe to the party in getting just a glue... I should do this. I'm a little bit late. I should have done this a little bit earlier, but I want to get a glue storm. Yeah, as soon as these appear, I just want to use the ability. And yeah, this is going to be... Because I don't want to buy a Millipede Village, but we are going to need a little bit of damage amplification, which works amazing with the Tack Zone. And it's also going to make the Pickles a bad buff, right? Because the damage that this tower does is not going to get increased. So we don't want to be pickling it if we're using the Glue Storm. So I'm just going to stop doing that. I think that the new Sharpening Stone is actually a little bit more helpful. It's like an overall nerf, but it's a little bit more helpful for the top pad than it is for the middle one, right? Because the middle one has like 8 pierce, if I remember correctly. So that extra pierce is not exactly doing too much. You give it like +2 pierce. Yeah, it's questionable at that point. How do we want to proceed after this? I mean, maybe we can just get an overclock, which is again a cheap tower that you would normally have. Wait a minute, we're leaking. Don't ask why Geraldo has the genie on it, by the way. Just don't worry about it. And round 95. So for 95, we do have the overclock. We have everything ready, by the way. And I think I'm just probably going to use the Glue Storm only when these ETs appear. And then if we start leaking them, we're going to go round 2 with the overclock. So let's use the ability now. Oh, actually, that might have been a little bit early because the ability might run out. So let me use the rejuve just in case it runs out and there's still the ETs on screen. So let's go like that, and I feel like it is gonna last, isn't it? It's gonna last, right? Yep, it was right on time, and we didn't even need to overclock. Okay, so we're gonna have 2 45 0MGs on this one, and then obviously 98, 99, and 100 are the most important rounds. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna use the Glue Storm because this thing's cooling super fast. We also have the rejuve, and Geraldo is, oh, he's level 20, so we only have 1 rejuve. We have to remember that. And these guys just disappear. That's thanks to the extra attack speed. And so here's what's going to be happening on this round. How are we standing? It's only 1 rejuve. Okay, so I'm kind of paying attention to that because I do want to get 2 overclocks and 2 Glue Storms if necessary. So I'm going to get the Glue Storm now, and I think I'm actually going to overclock it. This is going to be the first overclock, and I do want to overclock basically up until the end, right? So let me just check the pops. It's 1.6 million, and I don't think anything else is taking pops. But 98 is finally, oh, look at that. So 98 is finally winning the battle against the Tack Zone. It is leaking a lot. I mean, this is not even close. Come on. Wait a minute. What am I talking about? The Sharpening Stone ran out. Okay, so if I use the Sharpening Stone, how much of a difference is it going to make? Wait, it ran out actually. Okay, so let's overclock now. Let's use the Glue Storm. How much of a difference is the Sharpening Stone gonna make? Because we leaked basically the entire round last time. It actually ran out. We're still leaking, by the way. But are the leaks gonna be less severe this time? Let's use the Glue Storm again. I mean, it's still kind of bad. Yeah, it wasn't the Sharpening Stone. It's just round 98. Right, so I just noticed the pops on the Alchemist. I completely forgot about this guy. And he's got 36,000. So 2 Mega Pops thingy is not happening. But that gives us the green light to do this. I'm going to get a Super Brill. And this thing is going to amplify the damage like crazy onto the Tack Zone. This is, by the way, the perfect combo. This is how you want to play with the Tack Zone. I'm going to get the Glue Storm in right now, and I'm going to overclock it. And I have a feeling that... Oh, let me just not forget to do this. I have a feeling this is going to be more than enough, honestly. But let's see how it does. I think it's going to do amazing, right? I think just nothing is going to get past the... Okay, maybe things are going to get past the first bend. But so far, it's looking... Oh my god, it's actually leaking still. I mean, it's not a lot, you know, in comparison to last time. This is just, like, marginal leaks, but it's still leaking a little bit. We're gonna take it, actually. So, how do we want to deal with these guys? Let me just do this. Let me just get Jerry's Fire like that. And, it's actually really good that this balloon is leaking because it's gonna give time for the cooldowns to come off, actually. And, there we go. So, we're gonna get the Glue Storm in a second. I'm gonna overclock now. We do have the Super Build, but I'm still gonna use the Glue Storm ability. I know that these guys are gonna get deleted. And yes, so let's do this. Let me get the cooldowns back up on everything. Let me overclock again. And are we doing everything that we can? I feel like one more Glue Storm and that's about it, right? We are buffing it with everything that's necessary, and it's just gonna evaporate the bad balloon, and nothing's gonna leave because not too many balloons are inside. And yes, the Tack Zone is still an amazing tower. It looks like it is just a great tower, guys. And I feel like this buff didn't do too much. It might even be a little bit helpful because it adds +1 pierce, and the top hat needs a little bit extra pierce. So I guess if you're running Geraldo, you should probably be going for the top hat, right? But at least that's what I'm getting from this thing. I would love to hear what you guys think about this Tack Zone and have you played with it. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one.